Yo, what's up guys? I'm Grandmaster Shaman and welcome back to the channel. We are here for episode 3 of Sakura Fox Adventure, the brand new Sakura visual novel coming out here today. And in the last episode, we had a very, very emotional episode. And I'm sorry if I got a little too personal and deep with it, but it was pretty intense. It was pretty intense. Our girl here, Makoto, nearly died. It was rough. I mean, it's kind of what we expected to happen. But now she's almost naked because, you know, this is a Sakura game, so obviously you've got to have something in here. What? When I wake up, I find myself in an unfamiliar room. The walls and floor are made of wood and the shelf in the corner filled with books. The room is small, but it's certainly comfortable, and the warm sunlight streaming through the window dyes everything gold. I wince, wiping my eyes with my hands. Where am I? I'm sure I never been here before. It's nothing like my room back in Yamatai, with its tatami floor and side doors. All things considered, I should be pretty unnerved, but in fact it's the exact opposite. The bed sheets are still soft against my skin, and the sunlight is deliciously warm. I can hear birds chirping in the trees beyond the window and smell a delicious mouth-watering aroma in the air. This place feels like a pleasant dream. If I wanted, I could sit in bed and fall fast asleep. My eyes are already halfway shut when... Huh? I look down at myself blinking and I realize I'm almost completely naked, save for my underwear. Wait a sec. Okay, now it's time to panic. Where did my clothes go? Did somebody strip me? I know I'm cute, but this is taking things too far. Well, that makes one of us that's cute. It's unfortunate. What in the world happened last night? Oh, so you've woken up already. Ah! I instinctively throw my arms around my chest in an attempt to conceal my breasts. Not that it does me much good, because her breasts are massive and... if anything, I only succeed in squashing my boobs together. They look more alluring to potential predators. Yeah, it doesn't work, does it? The woman who entered the room, though, doesn't seem too interested in my body. She simply smiles, her eyes crinkling in the corners. I'm so relieved to see you're all right. Oh. I sigh heavily, the tension fading from my body. I know who this woman is, though my memories of last night are spotty at best. This is the knight who ran the goldfish scooping stall. I believe her name was Juniper, right? Junie is fine. Junie smiles at me, her hands linked together at the front. And if you were considering, wondering about your clothes, I hung them outside to dry. Oh, I see. I glance out the window at the expanse of grass beyond, what I assume is Junie's home. In the garden, I can see a washing line lined up, with clothes hanging from the front of it. I guess that makes sense. I didn't think you were a panty thief, but it's nice to see a little confirmation. What? Of course I'm not a panty thief. You're still wearing your panties. I wanted to drive those too, but I thought it'd be a little too much. I mean, we've only just met. Taking off all your clothes would be a bit forward. For now. You know what's happening later. This is a Sakura game. Come on. I will have to edit that out. This will probably leave because it's really not that big of a deal. Hey, you were age restricted my video, go the fuck ahead, that's fine. Junie toys and with a lock of her pale hair, her cheeks flushed. So despite being a knight, she can get embarrassed too, huh? How cute. This human might be fun to tease just a little. Yeah, she seems so cute. Oh, she's so good. Oh, I love her, she's amazing. But first, I have a question or two I'd like to ask her. Why'd you remove my clothes in the first place? I don't remember you doing that. Well, you wouldn't. You were passed out. So you lured me back to your home in the dead of night, pushed me onto your bed, and stripped me bare? Don't you have any shame, woman? I had to. There was no other way. Your clothes were dirty, and they were all wet. I was afraid if I let you sleep like that, you'd catch a cold. I'm not a pervert, I promise. I was just trying to help. For a girl who claims she isn't a pervert, you sure are staring at my boobs a lot. Yay, lesbians! Lesbians is the best. I'm not not trying to. Look at her face. She's look at her face. Is that not the "you totally caught me" face or what? Like, look at it. Junie's eyes snap open. Her cheeks blister redder and redder until she bears a striking resemblance to a bonfire. Since Junie's skin is so pale, she turns red easily. It makes for quite a sharp contrast with her pale, almost ashen hair. I'll have to keep that in mind for future rushes. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to stare. I just couldn't help it. I wasn't sure where else to put my eyes. It's alright. You don't need to be bashful. I know as far as foxes go, I'm very beautiful. I have lithe, long limbs and a cute, fluffy tail, and what? And I was just thinking, you can see my tail, can't you? That's right. It's every bit as cute and fluffy as you said. And my ears? Perched right atop of your head. Then that means you know I'm a fox girl. Of course. You made that quite apparent after the events of last night. I know you're a fox girl, and I think everyone in Warren Village does too. Well, that can't be true. I use magic to hide my identity. No one should know who I am. They didn't at first, I must admit. You had us all fooled. But your secret's, well, and truly out now. I don't know what spell you were using to hide your ears and tail, but I think it must be defective. Maybe you can get a refund. Defective? That's right, that's what I am. Ohana was right. I never should have come here. Ohana? My tutor. She said my magic wasn't good enough to enter a human village unnoticed, and she was right. I thought I knew better than her, but I don't know anything. Now I've messed everything up. I press a hand against my mouth. My stomach churns, and I feel bile rising in my throat. I feel sick, and the rich, milky smell in the air doesn't exactly help. Was Junie in the middle of cooking something? Maybe I interrupted her, just like I interrupted her last night. It's all beginning to come back to me now, in bits and pieces. Wait, are we getting a flashback to like 30 seconds ago? My trek through the woods, the fish scooping game, the cries of alarm, the shouts, the screams. Is that a fox girl? How long has she been here? What's a beast like you doing in our village? If we let her stay here too long, she'll bring misfortune down upon all of us. She isn't welcome here. I cringe, my tail twitching with delayed panic. When those humans realized what I was, they all turned on me. They treated me like I was a monster. And to think I thought humans and fox girls could be friends. What a ridiculous idea. I really am stupid. Hey, Makoto. Makoto, are you okay? I'm fine. It just occurred to me, if it wasn't for you, Junie, I'd be dead by now. You saved me. Oh no, think nothing of it. Anybody would have done. Wait, what is that face? She looks like, yeah, I totally did, and you owe me, and I'm looking at your boobs right now, and they seem like a good, nice little, way to, thank me. I'm just saying. Look at Junie's face. You cannot tell me that's not what she's thinking. But nobody did. You were the only one to help me out. You saved my life, but I have nothing to give you in return. You don't really need to give me anything. But I insist. As the future head of the Yamatai clan, I can't be in a human's debt. It'd be unseemly. My mother would never forgive me. Not that she'd forgive me anyway if she finds out what I've done. She'd flip out, and Ohana too. I might have miscalculated a little. I've never been the best at math. But I at least need to make things right with you. I can't give you any money, and I don't have any jewels, but I have my body. If you like, I'll let you bury your head in my boobs. Oh no, I appreciate the thought, but that really won't be necessary. Oh, don't be so modest. You help me out, and I've got a little something for you in return. It's an eye for an eye, you know? Now, why don't you touch my boobs? You could even grope them a little. I've seen how much you like them. You can't stop staring at them. No, I'm fine. I don't want to take advantage of you. So she totally would do it. She's like, if I wasn't taking advantage of you, I'd totally be all up in there. Yeah. You get it, Junie. Oh, I see. So my boobs aren't good enough for you. It must be because I'm a fox girl. I know you humans don't like my kind. You're probably afraid I'll taint you. That's not true at all. The others in my village might think that way. but they're old and jaded. They can't see beyond their silly prejudices, but I can. I don't care if you're a fox girl. You're still a living being with thoughts and feelings. I saw how upset you were back at the village and how badly you wanted to fit in. And that's why I decided to defend you. I can't stand people who harass those who have done nothing wrong. It's just unjust. I became a knight so I can fight on behalf of people like you. But, surely you want some kind of reward, right? No, I don't. I didn't help you because I wanted any underhanded rewards. Simply performing a good deed was more than enough for me. I'm happy you're recovered, so please don't force yourself. Right now, you need to rest. That's right. I look at my lap, simply abashed. I only wanted to make amends with Junie, but it seems my overzealous attitude has made things even worse. Ohana always says I'm too rash, but I guess she's right. I'm sorry. I'm an idiot. That's how I got into this huge mess to begin with. I just don't think, and now I've placed a huge burden on you. I'm getting in your way. I have no way to repay you either. You're not getting in my way, silly. I brought you back to my home because I wanted to. This was my choice, so you have no need to apologize. I'm old enough to accept the consequences of my actions. Right, I blink at Juffy, hopefully. So are you sure you don't want to feel my boobs? They're nice and soft. I'm sure they are. I mean, you're very attractive, but well, Junie's fingers twitch at her sides. Oh, no way. Maybe she has a fetish for something else? Like her thighs or her, shoulders or something? I can see that. Her fingers are twitching. She wants something, doesn't she? For a few moments, I wonder if she's going to take me up on my offer. I wait and wait, but... I sniff, my nose twitching. Is it just my imagination, or is something burning? Burning? Junie looks for me for a few moments, her expression impassive before... oh no! I forgot about the porridge on the stove! Uh-oh. I'm sorry about the porridge. I hope you can still eat it at least. Oh no, it's fine. I blow on the charred porridge, which is still steaming hot, then bring the spoon to my lips. I guess the porridge does taste a little weird, but it's not entirely inedible. Besides, it'd be rude to complain about it now, after Junie went through all the effort of making it for me. She didn't even have to. Neither did she have to rescue me last night. She put herself in danger to help me, a stranger who she hardly knows. She really is kind. Thank you, Junie. I appreciate it. I'm not just thanking her for the porridge or my newly dried clothes. I want her to know how grateful I am for everything she's done. Thanks. The porridge would taste better if I hadn't let it burn, though. It's a pity. Junie pouts. I don't want you to get the wrong idea. I am a competent cook, I promise. I'm sure you're a better cook than me, at least. Now I'm curious, what sorts of foods do fox girls eat? Mostly fish and nuts and berries. Whatever we hunt in forests, really. We don't have fancy cuisine like this. Porridge isn't that fancy, you know. It's not? No, it's quite cheap, actually. Maybe I should have made you something more hearty. Like an omelet, or maybe even some toast. But I thought porridge would be easier on your stomach. I wasn't really sure you could handle anything too heavy after. Well... Junie's voice trails off, but I know what she's referring to. The rocks, spears, and swords. The back of my head still hurts, though my scalp stopped bleeding. Junie must have soaked my wounds in warm water while I was still insensible, my lifeless body sprawled on her bed. What would I do without her? Do you feel a little better at least? I feel fine. You don't have a headache? Any aching limbs, broken bones? I don't think so, no, I'm just a little sleepy. Oh, thank goodness. I was worried about you. You just collapsed into my arms like a little doll. I'm sorry about that. I was kind of stressed at the time. Does that mean you carried me back to your home? Mm-hmm. Geez, now I feel embarrassed. I hope I wasn't too heavy. You were fine. If anything, I was concerned about how light you were. You should eat a bit more to get some color back in those cheeks. I'm not entirely convinced when you say you're fine. Why don't you try your porridge with this? Junie passes me a jar filled to the brim with red, sticky substance. It's sweet, so it should help mask how burned the porridge is. What's this? It's strawberry jam. Haven't you seen it before? Well, I've definitely had strawberries before. Let me give this a try. I unscrew the jar and stick a spoon into the sticky contents, and I ladle some of the jam onto my porridge and mix it into the oats, then bring my spoon to my lips. I'm not expecting too much from this so-called jam, and yet, to my surprise, it tastes pretty good. In fact, it's better than good. Wishy! Oh, I'm so glad I made that jam myself, you know. You did? But it's so sweet. It tastes like fairies and nectar. You really are talented. Oh, no, I'm not. Not really. That's what Junie says, but the awkward smile on her face totally screams, yes, praise me more. Junie might be human, but she's not all that hard to read. Maybe we humans and fox girls aren't so dissimilar after all. That being the case, why did the villagers of Warren react so negatively towards me? I never met any of them before, but it seemed like they truly hated me. Hey, Makoto, are you alright? I'm alive, at least. That's something. If it wasn't for you, though. The events of last night are still blurry, but they're starting to come back one by one. They're not the most pleasant of recollections. Is it any wonder I feel so blue? Did Fallon really mean to kill me? That is hard to say. Fallon isn't a bad woman, at least I don't think she is. She's always been a friendly, reliable person. I think she's nice, at least. I'm not so sure about that. She threatened to kill me. She threatened to, yes, but I don't know if she would have gone through with it. Fallon might be an idiot, but she's not a cruel person. She doesn't like crushing flies or tearing spiderwebs. I think she only intended to scare you, so you'd run away. Then she'd go back to the village and tell everyone she'd slain you. She'd be able to brag without dirtying her hands. That's what I think, at least. But it doesn't matter because I stepped in before things could get out of hand. Yeah, you did, my hero. But putting Fallon to one side, neither of the other villagers seemed to like me very much either. Your chief in particular. I shuddered. He was so scary. Oh, Unwin is just an old coot. His views on the world are hopelessly outdated. He ordered the villagers to attack me. Well, he would. It's because he's old and prejudiced. He believes all the silly tales his mother told him when she was very young. What tales? That fox girls tear out human hearts bathed in their blood and all sorts of nonsense. He has no proof, of course, but bigotry doesn't need proof. I want that quote thrown throughout the world. Bigotry doesn't need proof. Because you're being a bigot. Don't be an asshole. Whether you agree with what someone looks like, how someone acts, what someone does or says, don't be an asshole. Please don't be an asshole. You can disagree, that's fine, but don't be an asshole. Don't sit here and tell someone they're stupid just because they like a certain thing. Or they feel a certain way. Like, don't sit here and do that, please. Please. Don't be like the village elder and have people attack someone because they look a little different than you. I almost want to put on my ears. Especially since technically we're Makoto. Maybe next episode. Huh, that's funny. My tutor Ohana told me stories like that about humans. She said you're a wicked, violent race and you wouldn't hesitate to hurt creatures you don't understand. She never said anything about fox girls hurting humans, though. Well, perhaps we're both as bad as the other. We all have our own prejudices. If our positions were reversed, and I stumbled into your domain, maybe you would have come to my defense instead. I doubt that. My magical powers are pretty weak. That's why I only have one tail, you see. Yes, I was wondering about that. I didn't want to ask, in case it was rude, but... Junie peers at my tail, a thoughtful look on her face. I thought mature fox girls were supposed to have 9 tails. Oh no, only the most powerful fox girls have 9 tails. Usually they're several centuries old. Most fox girls in my clan have 3 or 4 tails at max. My mom's the only one with 9, and I'm the only adult with 1. At my age, I really should have 2 tails by now, but my magic's too weak, so it won't manifest. But I get a lot of flack for it back home. I sigh. I get treated like an outcast from my fellow fox girls and by you humans. I'm starting to feel like I don't belong anywhere. Well, you're not alone in that. Many of the villagers in Warren think I'm strange too. I guess we're both weird. But in that case, why don't you stay here? I stare at Junie, my mouth hanging open. You mean I can live with you?
For a few days at least. You said you're well enough, but I'm worried you might have a concussion. You were bleeding quite badly when I examined you last night. I wouldn't want you to be collapsing in the forest.
That's very kind of you, but... I look down at my lap, my fingers twined together. We're in Warren Village, right? None of the humans around here are like me. If they found me, they'd hurt me, and they might hurt you too.
No, they won't.
How can you be so certain?
Nobody will find you out here. My home isn't built in Warren itself. It's on the outskirts of the village, half hidden in the woods. The only person who knows I brought you here is Fallon, and I trust her not to rat you out. The two of us are childhood friends, and she owes me a few favors. If she does betray me, however...
What?
I'll make her rue the day she was born.
I love her. Junie is the coolest, man. Junie is the coolest. Ugh. Get someone like Junie. Get someone like Junie that if that person, even if they're a friend, rats on you, that person like Junie would make them rue the day they were born. Never want to live. Junie gestures towards her sword, which is lying sheathed in one of the chairs at the kitchen table. You mean you'll hurt her?
Oh no, I wouldn't hurt anybody. Not willingly, anyway. If it's in self-defense, though. Well, that's another matter.
Right. I shift away from Junie, my tail twitching. You look so kind, but you're actually kind of scary.
Only when the topic of justice comes up. I can't stand people who hurt those unable to defend themselves. It just isn't right. You did nothing wrong, Makoto. You don't deserve to be punished for being born a fox girl. If anyone tells you otherwise, they're wrong.
Right. I see how it is. You're certainly passionate. I didn't think Junie would be so fiery. She doesn't look the sort, with her pale skin and her clear blue eyes. But I suppose she looks can be deceiving. I think she might be even more impulsive than I am. Then again, that might be a good thing. If she wasn't, she never would have saved me. I really do owe her.
Now, why don't you stay here, Makoto? I don't mind if you do. I have more than enough food, and I don't mind if you want to use my bed. I can sleep on the floor.
The floor? Is that really okay?
I mean, it's fine. I am a knight. It wasn't so very long ago that I fought in the army, and I'm used to far harsher conditions than this. You don't need to worry.
Junie smiles.
I'll be just fine.
Then, if you're sure it's okay, then I pause, pondering. I know I should go back to Yamatai as soon as possible. I've never been away from home for so long, and Ohana will be worried sick. But the thought of going back to Yamatai now, when I've managed to escape, is far too oppressive. My adventure in Warren Village didn't get off to the most auspicious start, it's true. But now I'm with Junie. I don't want to go back home. I want to learn much, much more about Junie and the rest of her village. It might be impossible, but it really would be nice if humans and fox girls could put their differences behind them. I really do wish we could become friends. Hey, Junie, where are we going?
I just thought it would be nice to get some fresh air. My home isn't very big, and staying inside for too long can get claustrophobic, don't you think?
Well, you have a point. Being a fox girl, I'm accustomed to spending time among nature. I feel more at home among the towering oak trees of the forest than anywhere else. It's a nice warm day. Birds are twittering among the trees, and frogs of swaying grass brush against my ankles. When I inhale, I can smell the rich, loomy earth. Twigs snap beneath the heels of my shoes, and leaves whisper on the trees. Under normal circumstances, I'd be happy to wander through the forest, particularly with a pretty girl like Junie in tow, but what if we run into anybody from Warren Village?
We'll be fine, Makoto. You worry too much.
I'd say my problem is that I don't worry enough. If I'd worried a little more about my future, I never would have come to Warren Village to begin with, but it's too late to fuss about that now. I just don't want to get into trouble, that's all. I know we haven't known each other for that long, but you were so nice to me, Junie, and you're important to me.
Makoto.
Junie pauses in her trek and turns to face me, smiling sweetly.
I'm flattered, and the feeling is more than mutual. I care about you, too.
Junie's hand rises to the hilt of her sword, which is strapped to her back.
That's why I won't let anyone hurt you, no matter what.
You mean it?
Cross my heart.
Oh, she's the sweetest. Don't you just want to give her, like, come on. When she says something like that, I'd just give her, like, a massive hug, and I'd be like, oh my god, you're the sweetest. Thanks, I guess, but it seems kind of weird you'd be willing to go out of your way for a girl you barely know. Are you always such a goody two-shoes?
I have heard people say I'm too generous, yes, but I don't think that's a bad thing. I don't like seeing other people suffer, especially not cute fox girls like you.
Junie giggles and ruffles the top of my head. Her fingers brush the base of my ears, and a trail of pleasure tiptoes up and down my spine. Why does her hands feel so good? With skills like this, she could start her own massage parlor. Oh, man. Her gentle caress are totally wasted on being a knight. Junie was made to swing around a sword. She would be Junie wasn't made to swing around a sword. She should be fondling me instead. Fondle my boobs. Fondle my head. Fondle me.
Hey, Makoto, you've gone quiet all of a sudden. Your face is turning red, too. You don't have a fever, do you?
No, I don't think so. I tried to refute Junie's question, but it's hard. My face is redder than the strawberry jam I had for breakfast this morning. My cheeks are positively burning up here. Junie leads her face a little closer to mine, her eyes narrowed.
You said you felt well this morning, but you did have a rough time of it yesterday. Perhaps you needed a little bit more time to recover. Maybe we should go back home instead.
No, I don't want to go back. I've gotten in your way enough already. It wouldn't be fair if I ruined your plans.
But you're so red.
That's 'cause I shift awkwardly from foot to foot. My ears are sensitive.
Sensitive?
That's right. When you rub them, it felt kind of good, or really, really good.
Oh, I see.
Look at her face. She's like, oh shit. It's like sexual. Junie blinks, comprehension drawing upon her pretty face. Part of me hoped she'd continue petting my head, but as might be expected, she draws her hand away, her face flustered.
Sorry, Makoto, I didn't know. There's a lot about fox girls that's a mystery to me.
Oh no, it's totally fine. It's not like I'm mad or anything. In fact, it's quite the opposite. I wish Junie pet my head again. Ohana sometimes pats my head when I do a good job during our training sessions, but her touches are so soft and light. It's almost as though she's afraid of breaking me. It feels different with Junie. She might be a stranger, but...
Anyway, it looks like we're almost to our destination.
I was so lost in my thoughts, I stopped paying my surroundings any heed, but now Junie mentions it, we have walked pretty far. The forest is behind us now, the trees giving way to a large meadow. The field is filled with long swaying blades of grass decorated with wild flowers. There's a bubbling brook not too far away, hidden among the trees. I can't see it, but I can hear it. Crystalline water sloshing against the rocks with comforting regularity. My nose twitches and I can smell something sweet and mild. Primroses, maybe? I've never been to this place before, but it's quite the first impression. Wow, this place really is beautiful.
Isn't it just? I knew you'd like it here, Makoto. I used to come here to train a lot when I was a young girl. I'd work up a sweat, then clean myself off in the brooks in the woods. I haven't been back in a while, though.
You mean you've been training to be a knight ever since you were a little kid?
That's right. I always wanted to help those in need, and being a knight seemed like the most practical way to go about it. But back when I was young, I didn't have a real sword. I used to practice swings with a wooden stick over and over, until I wore myself out. I wasn't very good at fighting at first, but my swings were too wild. I'd lash out and then I'd overbalance and fall over. I always ended up covered in dirt, but I didn't give up. I worked long and hard, and in the end, my perseverance paid off. When I was 16, I was accepted into the army, and I moved to the capital so I can continue my training. I served in the army for 8 years, and I fought in a lot of wars, and I did my best to keep the country safe.
So she's 24? So it shows she's, Makoto's older by a year. Wow, then there's no wonder Fallon seems to respect you so much. You really are a hero.
Thank you, but I don't know if I'd go quite that far. I didn't become a knight for fame or fortune. I just wanted to help others. I believe that was what I was doing, and my time in the army was fulfilling, but...
A sigh.
All that blood and death can get a girl down, you know.
I can hardly imagine. I spar with Ohana all the time, but I've never been in a real fight. I never seen anybody die. I've never killed anybody either, but Junie, despite her gentle smile and her soft countenance, must have. She served in the army after all, and she fought in wars. The sword strapped to her back isn't for decoration. I can't help but be impressed and a little unnerved. Junie doesn't look like a killer. She's too soft and gentle, but her resolve is harder than iron.
That's probably a good thing, Makoto. You don't want to watch other people die. It's harrowing.
But you did it for 8 years.
Yes, I did, and it started to wear me down. I told myself I was fighting for the sake of my country, but so many disputes were over silly things like land or resources. It didn't feel like I was fighting for a particularly noble cause. I had to wonder if I was really helping people or if I was stroking my own ego. Plus, I felt a little homesick. It's kind of hard to believe, huh? Compared to the capital, Warren Village is a tiny pinprick on the landscape. It hardly even registers. There's not much here, and there's little to do, but I made a fond memories here during my childhood, and I care for it all the time.
No, I understand that. I lived in Yamatai all my life, but now I'm free of it, I almost miss it. Almost, but not quite. I'm not ready to go back just yet.
I left the army a couple years ago and came back to my old home. My parents must have moved away, but Warren Village largely the same as I remember.
So you don't know if your parents moved away? Do they not talk to you either? Man, welcome to the big show.
Unwind is just as pretty and close-minded as always. Fallon is earnest and hardworking, and there are fireworks at harvest festivals. The regularity is comforting, I guess, but I was starting to think I'd be here too long already. I was thinking about returning to the army. Junie smiles at me.
Junie smiles at me, her eyes soft and gentle.
But I can hardly do that now that you're here.
What? I'm sorry if I was getting in your way.
You don't need to apologize. I'm glad I met you. Your company is incredibly interesting. I'd rather fight to protect you than seize the land that doesn't rightfully belong to me. It seems like a more valuable use of my time.
Are you sure about that?
Quite sure. Now, I'd bring you out here so I could talk your tail off. That wasn't what I intended. There's actually something I'd like us to do. You said earlier back in the college that you were best at fighting, and when I was younger I came here with a wooden stick to train. I know you're still recovering, but I thought I could give you a few lessons in self-defense. It would help you fend off any attacks from other humans if you get another sticky situation. And physical exercise is an excellent way to soothe the mind. What do you think?
Junie's eyes sparkle from zealous energy.
Would you want to spar with me? I'm not as good as, your tutor, Ohana, did you say her name was? But I have a lot of experience, and I'd love to share it with you.
Well, I don't know. Ohana would be probably jealous. She's quite possessive, you know.
I understand. I would be possessive, too, if I had a student as cute as you.
How shameless. Do you really think flattery can pervert my moral compass?
Maybe not, but...
Junie grins.
If you agree to spar with me, I'll pat your head. Will that sway you?
I'm in! I pause. Junie's got me, and she knows it. I don't particularly want to spar with Junie. I'm terrible at physical combat, and I'm afraid she'll laugh at me. But with a winning condition like that on the line, there's no way I could refuse. Junie's hands feel way too good, damn it. I'm completely at her mercy. Look, she's so cute. Hiya! Is that all you've got? You're so adorable. Look at her. Look at her face. Freaking Makoto's like, and Junie's like, God, you're so cute, but so bad at this. Hey, I thought you said you'd go easy on me.
I said no such thing. I want to train you, Makoto. There's no point if I don't give it my all. If you get into any scraps and I'm not around to help, you'll have to defend yourself, and your pursuers won't be all as soft as Fallon. They certainly won't go easy on you.
I know that, but it's impossible. I haven't struck you once.
Then you'll have to try harder. Do you really think I'm going to stand here and let you beat me?
Why you? I like Junie and all, but she can be pretty infuriating right now. I'd be content if I can land one hit on her, but her skills are out of this world. She intercepts every single one of my strikes with relative ease, the smile on her face never fading. It's almost like she's toying with me. This is really frustrating. You're even worse than Ohana. I've never been able to beat her either, but at least she's concerned about me while we're sparring. She lets me rest her head on my lap when we're done, and she runs her hands through my hair. She's way nicer than you.
I'm sorry, Makoto. It's force of habit. I was in the army for 8 years, remember? I trained rigorously for hours every day. I'm used to this kind of training, and I was taught not to show pity for my foes. I like you a good deal, but my personal feelings are irrelevant right now. If you want to learn how to fight, you must give it your all.
Yeah, like I haven't heard that before. This would be so much easier if I could use magic. Then I wouldn't have to bother with weapons. I could just set your hair on fire.
If you do something that cruel, I'm glad you can't use any magic. A girl's hair is her pride and joy. It takes effort to keep it this smooth and silky.
I wish my hair grew longer. My hair doesn't grow. My hair has barely grown over the last year. But yeah, pride. I love my hair. If my hair were to get set on fire, I'd probably want to die. Give me a break. Your hair's all soft and silky, though we're supposed to be fighting. You're not even sweating. Why am I the only one who's getting tired?
It's because you don't know how to control your body yet, as I do. Take some deep breaths. You need to focus.
But you're only a puny human. You shouldn't be able to beat me so easily.
I might be a punny human, but I have a lot of experience. I flatter myself I know my way around the battlefield far better than you do. I'm accustomed to dispatching my enemies, and I can do so without tangling my hair or smearing my lipstick.
What a skill to have. Then I won't hold back. I'm gonna give it my all. I swing my makeshift weapon at Junie with even more force than before, but she deflects the blow easily.
Too slow.
I swing again and again, my tail swishing with agitation, but Junie continues to flex my attacks. No matter what I do, it still isn't working. This is hopeless.
No, it isn't. Nothing is truly hopeless, not if you continue to try. If you just need to focus more, don't telepath your attacks quite so much. Sometimes subtly can be a more effective weapon than brute force.
Subtly, huh? Then how about this? I lunge at Judy, swinging my stick from an angle, this time. But I miscalculated. My poor ankle twists from the ground, and a burst of pain shoots through my body. I drop my weapon to the ground before Junie has a chance to deflect it. And of course, it lands on my foot. Ow! I jump back, whimpering in pain, and stumble. I'm falling.
Hey, Makoto!
Oh, fuck. Well, that seems like a great place to end this episode off, so make sure you guys hit that like button down below for me, because you already know your support's greatly appreciated, as well as hitting the subscribe button and leaving a comment in the comment section down below. Let me know your thoughts on the series, what you like, what you don't like. I'm still kind of new to this whole thing, so I'd like to hear what you guys think about the series, about me, about all of this. Make sure you go back and watch the previous episodes. There are links in the description for other cool and exciting things. And yeah, we'll see you in the next episode.